Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. Now, take that easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is called Circles, Arrows, Never For Kropka Fog, which is basically the description of the rule set, and it's by J. Rosas. Um, that's pretty cool. Just that's a pretty simple. Like it's basically just all the rules that are here. Anyways, let's get to all the rules. We have a never four type puzzle, which means we place the digits 0 to 9, but never 4 in every row, column, and box without repeats. So again, essentially this is like normal Sudoku, but instead of having a 4, you always have a 0 in this place. And this is why I say in normal Sudoku rules, because sometimes you can have the digits 0 in a Sudoku puzzle, and you can have various values which could be greater than 9 or even less than 0 or less than 1 specifically. So that's the never 4 rule set, which again, it's like the normal Sudoku rule sets, but you can't have 4. And instead of the 4, you have a 0. So just remember that. A black Kropka dot separates orthogonally adjacent digits that share a 1 to 2 ratio. Oh, the only possible black dot in the grid is given. So this is the only possible black dot. And it separates digits that share a 1 to 2 ratio. Well, you can sort of work out what these digits have to be. So we won't go into much detail there. Circle sum. A digit in a circle. Okay, oh, one thing to remember. This is the only possible black dot in the grid. Right? So you cannot have another domino, which is two cells which share an edge. So orthogonally adjacent just means that the cells share an edge, right? So that means in the puzzle, this is a negative constraint that we basically sometimes talk about. In this puzzle, you cannot have any other pair of digits which have a 1 to 2 ratio, because the only possible black dot in the grid is already given, and we have already shown that it's here. Well, actually, technically there could be other black dots within the fog somewhere, but it's saying that the only possible one is given. And it says there's only the way that it's phrased, it sounds like there's only one. So remember that negative constraint, because those are actually usually very important. So keep that in mind for the black Kropka dots. We have circle sum, where a digit in a circle indicates the number of circles that contain that digit. So let's just randomly put circles in. That's not a circle. That's not a circle either. We're doing edges only. That's why. Okay, so say we had these circles. If, say, there was like a 3 in one of the circles, that is saying there are 3 total circles that contain that digit, right? So there would have to be 2 other circles which contain a 3. So therefore, you could have a 3 here, a 3 here, and that would fulfill that criteria. And there has to be specifically that number of circles that contain that digit. So that's circle sum. I think it's just usually called circle rule, but he calls it circle sum, so we'll go with that. Okay, so that's interesting. Some of the circle sum circles are arrow circles, where digits along a circle's attached arrow do not repeat. Okay, so that's actually very important. Usually on an arrow, digits can repeat, but in this specific instance, digits along an arrow do not repeat and are not themselves in circles. and they must sum to the digit in that circle. Okay, so that's a lot of restrictions there. So say there was an arrow that went through here, right? That would add up to 3. Well, there's only 2 digits that can basically add up to 3, and therefore it would be saying those digits, so this would have to be 1 and 2, but those digits, they're not allowed to repeat, and they cannot be themselves in circles. So you would know from this arrow that basically the 1 and 2 would not be allowed to be in any of the rest of the circles. And of course they sum to the digit in the circle because that's the normal arrow rule. But there's a lot of actually restrictions there in that rule that he's using. And then finally, fog covers the grid. Correctly placing a digit in a cell clears a fog in the surrounding cells, and no guessing is required. So therefore, like if you correctly surmise what a digit is, so say we correctly was able to logic out that this was a 3, it would clear all the fog in the surrounding cells and in its own cell. Anyways, those are all the rules. If you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. So, let's go. Okay, so as I said, this is the only black Kropka dot, supposedly. And we know 3 is in a 1 to 2 ratio with it. Well, what's the only other digit that can be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 3? It has to be 6. So this is a 6. Aha! And there's a lot of circles here. We know this is 6. This is 5, where you know digits cannot repeat, and then along the arrow, and you know ah, okay. So, what's along this arrow? It has to be 2 digits because you can't have 3 unique digits add up to 5. It can't be 1 digit because if it's 1 digit, well, first of all, it's right next to it, right? So this would then it cannot be 1 digit because it would be right next to it, and then it cannot be a 5 anyways, which would break the arrow. So it must be 2 digits adding up to 5. Except that if it were 1 and 4 adding up to 5, the problem is 1 out of 1 and 4 has to be in the circle. And we know that that digits along the arrow can never be in circles. What does that make this then? That's weird. You can't have repeats, and it can't be a 5. But we know all of these are in circles. That's... Huh, what does that make this? Huh. What does that make this, even? I don't... Okay, so... This can't be... Yeah, this cannot be... No, this... Okay, so this... The problem is, there are 7 digits in a circle in this box already. There's no way you can have 2 other digits add up to another digit without... So it must be that... Okay, so apologies, but it looks like this is the digits along the circle's attached arrow do not repeat. are not themselves in circles and sum to the digit in that circle. So they can so the digits along the arrow cannot. I think what it's saying, what is it saying? I don't. That's very confusing. Hold on, I'm gonna pause just to get clarification on the rules. Okay, it does not clarify that. But the thing is, there's no way that these arrows could work if none of the digits can be on in any circle. So I'm assuming that when it says digits along attached arrow do not repeat are not themselves in circles, I'm going to assume that it cannot be in the circle that it's attached to. Because otherwise, how do you get 8 added up with 2 and 3 where you don't have repeats? The only digits allowed would be like 2 and 3. That doesn't seem like that works. So for one thing then, this has to be 2 and 3 to add up to 5. How does that work? Yeah. Can 0 ever be in a circle? No. Right? So this has to be 0. Because 0 can never be in a circle. Right? Otherwise, a 0 has been in a circle one time, which we don't know 0 has to have to be in a circle 0 times. So this has to be 0, right? Which makes that a 2. Yeah, and 2 has to be in a circle here. So, yeah, I'm going to assume that when it says digits long attached circle do not repeat and are not themselves in circles, it means that they're not in the circle to the arrow they're attached to. Otherwise, it just doesn't work, right? So the remaining digits in this box are 1, 2, 7, and 9. This is the sum of 2 unique digits, so this cannot be 1 or 2. So this has to be 7 or 9. This is 1, 2, 7, or 9. These are 1, 2, 7, and 9. This has to be a 3 because you don't have repeats. Actually, you could have a 3 or a 0. But either way, this has to be the 3 then of that part. So this has to be 3. This is 3 digits adding up to 8. It's I think it has to be 0, 1, 7. It cannot have a 2 or 3. If it has if it doesn't have a 0, it has 1, 5, and 6 at minimum, which is 12. So therefore it has to have a 0. Therefore, this is 0, 1, and 7, adding up to 8. None of these can be 8, so 8 has to be one of these two. The remaining digits can be 9, 7, no 7. It could be 5 or 6. So this is 5, 6, and this is 5, 6. One can no longer be in a circle because it can only be it's in one circle and it's in one of these. 9 always has to be in a circle, and therefore it has to be in a circle in box 8. Well, it could be a circle here. We don't know actually. So that's not good. So this one could be a circle here. We just don't know. Okay, I think I understand the clarification. Thinking about it, It shouldn't be digits are not insert themselves in circles. It should be saying cells that have an arrow in it don't have a circle in it. Right? Cells that are on an arrow do not have a circle in it. I think that's what he's trying to say. Because then otherwise it doesn't really make sense. Like the way that it's put doesn't make sense. But I think what he's trying to say is anytime you have an arrow, this can never be a circle. I think. I'm not sure about that. Oh, and again, we know that again, there's only so the thing constraint we have, the negative constraint, remember, is the black Kropka dot, right? There's only one scenario where it's a 1 to 2 ratio. So this cannot be 1 because then that would be in a 1 to 2 ratio with 2. Therefore, this must be the 1. So this is a 1. Again, this was a circle. Yep, that works. So 9 still could be either of these two. 8 cannot be in a 1 to 2 ratio with any other digit now from 0 through 3 or 5 through 9. The only pairs are 1, 2, and 3, 6. So 3 cannot be next to a 6. So this cannot be a 6, and this can't be a 6. This can't be a 6 because of... Wait, no, it could be 6. It can't be 6 there. It can't be a 6 here. Hmm. So one of these is a 6. One of these is an 8. Seven is not here. This cannot be 5 because it's a sum of two other digits, which could be 0 and 1. So this is at least 6. So if this is 6, this has to be 5, 1, and 0 here. If this is 9, it could be 5 or 6. Well, but if this is 9 and this is 5, I guess it could be like something like 0, 3, and 1. Right? So if this is 6, this is 5, this has to be 0, 1, 0, 1 specifically. If this is 9, if this is 5, we need at least 3 digits to add up to 4, right? And what is this digit? It can't be 1 or 3, so that has to be the 0, right? Because it cannot have, again, you can't have repeats along the arrow. So you can't have 0, 2, and 2. You can't have any other combination that adds up to 4, so it has to be 0, 1, 3. And the 0 has to be here, because it can't be 1 or 3 here. If this is 6, again, this can't be 1 or 2, because of what's of the 1, 2, 3 here. Again, so, okay, what can this be? It's 0, 7, 8, and 9, right? 7, 8, and 9 can never add up to, with 5 or 6 to add up to 9. So this cannot be 7, 8, or 9. Therefore, this must be 0. So this is 0. This has to be 7. That makes that a 0. This can't be 0, 7. This is 8 or 9. This is 8 or 9. This is 3 digits adding up to with another digit. Therefore, this is at minimum 0, 1, and 2. Which means this has to be 9 at least. It cannot be 6. So this is 9, which means this can't be 9. We have a 5, 8, 5, 8 pair in box 8, which eliminates 5 and 8 from the rest of the box, so that makes that a 6. That means these have to add up to 3, and therefore this is 1 or 2, and this is 1 or 2. This can no longer be 9. We have a 1, 2, 7 triplet in row 9, which eliminates 1, 2, and 7 from the rest of the row. And 7 has to be here because there's no other possibility for 7 in the row. So therefore this can't be 7, this has to be 9. Which means this can't be 7 or 9, this is 1 or 2, this is 1 or 2. We have a 1, 2, 1, 2 pair in row 7, which eliminates 1 and 2 from the rest of the row. So this must be 6, 7, and 6, 7. Again, this is 3 and 5. Let's see. This has to be less than 5 and 8. Because again, it cannot be well, it can't be 5, period. So then it's 0, 1, 2, or 3. If this is 0, this would be the same as that digit, so this can't be 0. This has to be 1, 2, or 3, and it cannot be 3 because of this 3. Therefore, this is 1 or 2. If this were 1, this would have to be 7 and 8, if that's the case. If this is 2, it could be 2, 3 to add up to 5, or 2, 6 adding up to 8. One of these is 1 or 2. Therefore, the other 1 or 2 cannot be here because, again, we have the negative constraint of the black Kropka dot. So this can't be 1 or 2 here. It could be 0. Can't be 1 or 2. Can't be 3. Could be 5, 6, or 8. That doesn't tell us much. What is this digit? This digit cannot be 0, 5, 8, or 9. It can't be 1 because we know the 1 in a circle is in box 9. So no 1. It could be 2. It could be 3. Again, it can't be 5, 6, or 8, or 9. It could be 7. So that's 2, 3, or 7 here. So the only ones that have 1 to 2 ratios are 1 and 2 and 3 and 6. So that negative constraint is that one. This cannot be 1 or 2 because it would be next to another 1 or 2, and that would be a 1 to 2 ratio that's not allowed. So this could be, it can't be 0, can't be 1 or 2, could be 3, can't be 5, could be 6, 7, or 8. Those are all fine. You could have 0, 1, 2, 3 along here. No 5, no 6. Technically, it could be 7 or 8 also. Hmm. 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 Wait. Say this was 8 here, and this has to be 5. I guess it could be 203 if that's the case. But can this ever be 1, 7 adding up to 8? I don't think so, right? If this is 1 and 7 adds up to 8, this is 5. How do you add up to 5 without repeats? You can't, right? Without a 4. Right? You tried 0, 1, 2, that adds up to 3. 0, 1, 3 adds up to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3 adds up to 6. So you can never get 5 if you don't have a 2 here. And so if this is 1, it can only be 1 and 7 adding up to 8. So, and then this would be 5 with a 1 in it, but that's not allowed. So therefore this must be 2. So this has to be 2, which means this can't be 2. Therefore, it cannot be 0 here. It can't be 5. This has to be 6 then, adding up to 8. So this is 6 adding up to 8. This is 3 adding up to 5. Therefore, this is a 7. This can't be 7 anymore. This can't be 3 or 7. This can't be 2 or 3. We have 0, 1, 6, and 8 left. And 0 and 1 cannot be in this circle. So this is 6 or 8, which makes this, we have a 6, 8, 6, 8 pair now in row 6, which eliminates 0, 6, and 8 from the rest of the row. So this can't be 8. This has to be 0, 1. This is 0, 1. Again, 1 cannot be... Hmm. 1 cannot be in any of the circles, neither can 0. So therefore, this is 1, and this has to be 0, because this can't be 0, and this can't be 1. The remaining digits are 5, 7, and 8. And this can't be 5, and this can't be 8, and this can't be 7. Remaining digits here are 6, 7, 8, 9. Any of which are possible here. Okay. Remaining digits here are 1, 2, 3, 6, and 9. And this can't be 1. 9 can never be on an arrow. This can't be 1 because 1's no longer allowed in a circle. These are at least 3 digits, adding up to 9. This can't be 0, though. This can't be 0. Hmm. 6 can't be here. 6 cannot be here. This can't be 2 because it can't have a 1 to 2 ratio between them. Hmm. So if it's only 3 digits, it could be 0 and 1, 8, or it cannot be 0, 2, 7. It cannot be 0, 3, 6 either. It could be 4 digits. Well, okay. Can it ever be 3 if this is 1? No, because it can't be 1, 3, 5, and that was the only possibility. It can't be, or it can't be 1, 2, 6 either. So either this is 3 digits or it's 4 digits, right? In which case, if it's 4 digits, can this be 1? It would have to be 1, 2, 6 added up with the 0 if it's 4 digits. So could this be 0 is the question. 1. It cannot be 2 and 6 though here, if that's the case. So even if it's 4, this can't be 1 either. This has to be 0. Right? If this is not 0, say this was 1. You have 3 digits adding up to 9 without a 5 or a 6 allowed. And that's not possible. You have 1, 2, 6, and 1, 3, 5 are the only three unique digit combination in never 4s, adding up to 9. But and if you had 4, you have to have specifically 0, 1, 2, 6 or 0, 1, 3, 5. So the 6 would have to be here. This would then be 1 and 2, but then you can't have a 1, 2 pair there if that's the case. So either way, this has to be 0 then. This is always 0. This is always 1. So it has to be either 1, 8, 2, 7, or 3, 6 here, and it cannot be 2, 7 because the 7's already here, and it can't be 3, 6 because of the 6, so this has to be 1, 8. So this is 1 and 8, which means this can't be 8, so this is 7, which makes that a 5, which makes that an 8. 6 could be 2 and 3 added together. 8 could be 2 and 5 added together. Either way, there's a 2 here. Actually, I guess it could be 0. Oh, it can't be 0 because of that. So it has to be 2 and 3 or 2 and 5, and this can't be 2. So this must be a 2 here. And this is 3 or 5. This can't be 2. So this has to be 3, 5, or 9. 9 can never be in a non-circle because we know 9 has to be in a circle, and it can only be in 9. It has to be in 9 circles, and there can only be one circle in each box that has a 9. So this cannot be 9. This has to be a 3, 5, 3, 5 pair, which eliminates 3 and 5 from the rest of the row, so this must be a 9. The rest of this digits are 2, 3, and 6 here. Therefore, the rest of these digits are 0, 7, 9. 0 can never be in a circle, so this must be a 0 here. 8 is not in a circle in this box, so therefore 8 must be in a circle in the rest of the boxes. This could be 2, 6, 7, 8, 9. The remaining digits here are 2, 3, and 7. Remaining digits here are 0, 1, and 5. This can no longer be 9. This has to be a circle, right? Because otherwise you have 4 digits adding up to another digit, which is not allowed, and these would add up to 11. So that's not allowed. Therefore, this must be the sum of these 3 cells, which means this is the largest one. So this is 6. This has to be 3 because, again, you don't have a 1 to 2 ratio between any other cells or any other domino. So this must be 3. This has to be 2. Which means this can't be 2. The remaining digits here cannot be 0 because, but 0, so 0 has to be one of those 2. Can't be 1 here, so 1 could be one of those 2. Could be 2. Can't be 3, 5, 6. It could be 7, 8, and 9, though. And the remaining digits here are 2, 7, 8, and 9. You can't have a 1, though, because, and yeah, we have a 1, 2, 6 triplet in box 3, which eliminates 1, 2, and 6 from the rest of the box. This can't be 2. This can't be 1 or 2, so this becomes 0, 7, 8, or 9. This has to be 3, 5 with 7, 8, 7, and 8 as possibilities. Six, 8, and 9. Six is in 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. So we don't have any restrictions there. 3 is not in a circle here, here, here. So that's 3, 4, 5. Still could be in a circle in the other ones. Eight cannot be outside a circle in the rest of the box. So this cannot be 8. 9 can't be either. But we don't know anything about these cells. But this one cannot be a circle, obviously. This can't be 2 anymore, so this must be 1, which makes that a 2. Therefore, this can't be 2. Whereas the 2 in box 9, it has to be here. So this is 2. This is 1. We have a 6, 7, 8, 9 quadruple in column 3, which eliminates 6, 7, 8, 9 from the rest of the column. Therefore, this has to be 0, 1, 3, and 5. This is 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. But again, 9 and 8 cannot be outside of a circle except for here, right? Six is in 1 here. It's not in 1 here. It's in 1 here. It's not in 1 here. So that's 2 already that it's not in 1. 1 cannot be in a 1 to 2 ratio here, so this must be an 8, which makes this a 1. This can't be 1, so this is 7, which makes that a 1. 8 can no longer be here. 7 can no longer be here. Okay. This has to be 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, because it cannot be 3, 5 because of the 3, 5 pair that are in the same column. If this is 6, this would have to be 3, which would force that to be 3. That would mean that's 8, 9, 7, and that's 6. If this is 8, this is 5, which would force that to be 5. Which also works. Um... 3 cannot be in a 1 to 2. Okay, so 3 cannot be in a 1 to 2. Okay, actually, where is the 6 here? Or say this was 6. That would mean this would be 1, 2, and 1, 2 next to each other. And we know they can't be next to each other. So the 6 cannot be here. Similarly, if this were 6, this would be 1, 2, 1, 2 next to each other. And the problem is they couldn't be next to each other. So this can't be a 6, and this can't be a 6. Whereas a 6 in this column, it has to be here. So this is a 6, which means this can't be 6. 7 has to be... Well, we don't know. 6 cannot be next to a 3 in the rest of the grid. So this can't be 3. This is 5 or 7. This is 6, 8, 9 here. I don't think I would consider this easy. This is actually fairly complex. This has 6, 8, and 9 already. So 8 and 9 always have to be in a circle in the rest of the grid, because 8 is already outside the circle here, and 9 always has to be in a circle. 6 is 1 here. 6 is 1 here, 1 here. It's outside here, here, and it's inside in here. So we have 2 more it has to be outside of. Well, okay, it has inside here, inside here, inside here. That's 3, 4, 5. So it's inside only 1 more. So this can't be 6. This can't be 6. Ah, if this is 3, this would be 5 and 8, but then this would have to be 3 and 6, and that's not possible. So this cannot be 3. This has to be 5, which makes that 3, which makes that 6, which makes that 8, which makes that a 9, which makes that 8. This 3 means this can't be a 3, so this must be 5, which makes that a 3. Okay, good to know. This can't be 9, so this is 7, which makes that a 9, which makes that a 6, which makes that a 7. So we now have all the... Okay, this can't be 7 or 8. This cannot be 5, and this can't be 3 or 9 or 6. Okay. 7. Also, well, we have 1, 2... We have, yeah. We have both 7s that are outside circles already in the grid. So the rest of the 7s have to be in a circle. So this cannot be 7. This cannot be 7, therefore this is 5, which makes that a 3. This can't be 5. This can't be 3. This can't be 3 anymore. Also, where is the 7? It has to be here in the row. So this is a 7. This can't be a 7. It cannot be a 7. We have a 0, 1, 0, 1 pair in row 3, which eliminates 0 and 1 from the rest of the row. So this must be 2, which makes that a 1. This can no longer be 2. These can't be 5. So both of these must be circles. This is 2. Okay, so this has to be 3. Well, no. Okay, so yeah, I don't even know how this works. If this was 2, this would have to be... No, that doesn't work. So this cannot be 2, because if this is 2, this would be 3. And then 3 and something cannot add up to 2. 3 and a non-negative number cannot add up to 2. So this is 3, this is 2. This has to be 1 then, which makes that 0, which makes that 1. This can't be 1 or 3, so this is 0, which makes this a 3. That can't be 3 then, so this is a 5, 7 pair. This can't be 0 or 1, so this is 5, which makes that 7, which makes that 5. This can't be 0, therefore this is a 0 here. This can't be 2. We have a 6, 9, 6, 9 pair in box 1, which eliminates 6 and 9 from the rest of the box. So this must be 2. We have an 8, 9, 8, 9 pair in row 2, which eliminates 8 and 9 for the rest of the row. So this is 7, this is 8. This cannot be 8. 9 can never be outside of a circle, so this is 6, which makes this 9. Which makes that 8, which makes that 9, which makes that 8. This has to be 6 because it can't be 8 or 9, and therefore this is a 9. Okay. Yeah, this what I don't know. I would say this is actually a little more like average to me. Average difficulty than easy. There's a lot of stuff that's unintuitive. I don't know why he said digits along the arrow are not themselves in circles. I don't know what that gives you or what that adds. I don't, yeah. That just confused me. I think it actually, I never used that rule, so it was kind of superfluous, but yeah. Anyways, that was interesting. I hope you enjoyed the solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.